So Apex Legends just dropped a surprise patch today, and it has quite a lot of changes to the legends that will shake up the meta, and the devs also confirmed even bigger changes coming in the near future, like in Season 26. So let's see what this new update holds. First of all, we have changes to Revenant. And first of all, Revenant has changed class. He's changed to an Assault Legend, where he truly belongs. He's no longer a Skirmisher. Now, this is great for Revenant because, first of all, it means he gets access to the amazing Assault perks. For example, the Battle Surge, where breaking enemy shields will increase your sprint and reload speeds. On top of that, he can carry extra ammo and ordnance, and he can access the red supply bins for higher value attachments. And he also gets the stowed reload, so he automatically reloads stowed weapons after a short delay, which I'd suggest for Revenant. Let's say you're wall climbing up a tall building or something, stow the weapon and climb with your fist out. That way, while you're wall climbing, you'll also get a nice reload. Now, on top of that, they've buffed his tactical. So to bring Revenant up to speed, they've buffed his pounce. First of all, his minimum pounce velocity has been increased from 700 to 800. So even at the shortest amp up time, you will go a bit faster. On top of that, they've greatly increased his max velocity from 1,150 to 1,400. So at a max leap, you will now get a lot more speed, which is pretty nice, adds a lot more movement to Revenant. To bring him back on the map even more, I mean, a jump feels really good. Trust me, get into the game and try this. A max Revenant tactical is pretty crazy right now. They've also improved the ground detection so that guns are faster to come up. So basically, after you pounce with his tactical, you will now notice that more consistently your gun will come out very, very soon. Literally as soon as you hit the ground. Sometimes before, you'd land, it'll take a couple seconds for it to even register to bring out your weapon. So very nice buffs when it comes to Revenant. Revenant means you are eating good once again. Next up, the Ashe changes. So Ashe has had a serious change here, because they wanted to nerf her. She has been running rampant in Apex recently, and first of all, they changed her to a Skirmisher. So she's no longer an Assault Legend. They basically swapped her with Revenant, and that means she loses all of those Assault perks. However, she does gain the new perks. For example, she gains HP regen on a knock, which is pretty nice, and her teammates will also get a speed boost when they're running towards her. So she won't benefit from the speed boost of being an Assault Legend. So they're definitely nerfing her movement by even making her a Skirmisher. On top of that, the ultimate's max distance has been reduced from 100 meters to 75 meters. I'm pretty sure they recently buffed this, and now it's been nerfed again. So the ult doesn't go as far. This is certainly noticeable. I don't think it's super crazy, but her ult was really good with that super long range. And then we also have the upgrade. Her charged knock upgrade has been replaced with Marked for Death, which reveals enemy death boxes on your map. So bringing back a little bit of old Ashe. It just gives you a little bit more intel on where the fights are going down. And I mean, she gets the charge knock as part of the Skirmisher passive anyway, so that's fine. So honestly, Ashe changes aren't too crazy. I think the Skirmisher change is the most important there, but the Ashe dash remains unchanged, and she's still going to be a really good movement legend. Next up, we have changes to Alter. They've increased the time for knocked allies to use portals by 1 second, giving a little bit less survivability to your teammates there to get you out of those tricky situations. So definitely, if you see a knocked Alter teammate, you're definitely more likely to thirst them. We also have replaced Friends upgrade with Controller of Worlds, which gives access to the Controller perk. So she no longer has the perk where she gains the support perks, which I think was really good. Instead, of course, she gets that Controller perk, so she can scan the ring consoles and get the bonus shield from being in zone, which is good. But I definitely think this is a nerf, as the support perk was definitely really good to have, especially when playing Alter. Next up, they've increased the chase portal open duration from 8 seconds to 10 seconds. So the portal that's left behind after you use her portal will be open for 2 seconds longer, meaning enemies are more likely to follow you through. They have way more time to follow you there, 10 seconds. So you're definitely not super safe after you use the Nexus portal, so definitely be careful of that. They also decreased the warning time of portal from 3.5 seconds to 2.5 seconds. I believe this is the warning when an enemy goes through, so you won't have that as long. Now, next up, we have changes to Ballistic. Obviously, Ballistic has a very high pick rate. He's been doing very well this season. First of all, the Tempest no longer gives speed boost to allies, but Ballistic still has the speed boost, so his ultimate will no longer amp up your entire squad. However, you're going to be just as good by yourself, so don't you worry about that. Kind of sucks for your teammates, but I mean, they had to do it to you. I don't know how I feel about this one, honestly. I don't think it's the craziest change. I definitely think it's an alright nerf, and yeah, you know what? It sounds pretty balanced, actually. And then we also have the base tactical charge has been reduced back to 1. So before, they buffed it so you had 2 tactical charges. Now you only have 1. But of course, you do have the extra bullets perk if you'd like, where you can double your tactical charges. But now don't worry, Ballistic only has a max of 2 charges with that perk, no longer 4. I think this was much needed. I think 4 tacticals was a little crazy when you had that perk active. So I think these are pretty fair nerfs when it comes to Ballistic. We also have changes to Wattson. I mean, Wattson just got the absolute buff of her life with her recent kind of rework buff, especially to her tactical, and they're back and they are buffing Wattson even more. They really be loving Wattson this season. So for her upgrades, they've increased the ultimate conductor knock burst from 30% to 50% ultimate charge. So this is her level 3 perk where doing damage to enemies reduces the ult cooldown. And now if you get a knock, you get a 50% burst instead of 30. So it's not the craziest buff, but it makes picking this perk definitely more worth it. I mean, I think most people chose the ult support perks anyway, especially given that Wattson's ult is something you pretty much have all the time since you can charge it up while it's active anyway. So I guess this is just giving a little more incentive for you to choose that other perk, but I really think everyone's still going to choose the support perks as it is just far superior. So kind of a nothing change there. And then we have Vantage. Vantage has been buffed. Obviously, she got a pretty nice rework recently, and they want to make her stronger. So let me know how you feel about this one. Her ultimate, they've reduced the laser duration from 15 seconds to 10 seconds. Of course, this is now when you shoot the sniper, it will have the sniper laser active for just 10 seconds. So harder for the enemies to pinpoint your location, I suppose. And then we have a buff to her perk. Her level 4 perk, the sniper cover, they've increased the gun shield HP from 40 to 75. So you can resist a little bit more damage with that thing, which is nice. And also, they've updated the VFX color. Now, I can see this in third person in the firing range. Sorry, I didn't have anyone to test this out with. But it looks like it's now like a legendary gold color, a little bit like a gold knockdown shield was. I'm not sure why they changed this, if it's to give some clarity. I think it's mainly just to give some clarity that it is a Vantage sniper gun shield rather than any other gun shield hop-up. I'm not too sure, but is what it is. Let me know if you have any idea why they changed that. It might be what I said, but yeah. That is the change to Vantage. So I think it's great that Apex are doing more frequent hotfixes, balance changes, things like that. They've definitely stepped up their game when it comes to mid-season updates that aren't a major season update, but we do have to talk about what the devs have been hinting for the next major update. It looks like Season 26 may potentially have some pretty interesting things. First of all, it seems we're going to be getting a rework for Caustic. In a recent developer Ask Me Anything on Reddit, many of the devs did mention Caustic, saying that Caustic has been researching some new ideas that he hopes to reveal to the world soon. It seems he may have let a few things out of the lab a bit early. All will be revealed soon. Obviously, they may be referring to the fact that some Caustic things have been kind of changing in a few patches. I've talked about them in some of my YouTube shorts, and they're definitely working on a Caustic rework. So expect that probably in Season 26 based on this information. Now, in another developer response, they did mention that Caustic and Seer have been down at the bottom for far too long, so they're hopefully going to have some updates to share soon. So I definitely think Seer is another one of those legends that will be getting a bit of a tweak in the next season. Now, what about weapons? The Devotion has been crushing recently, and the developers know the Devotion does need some tuning. It's been a little too hot this season, and they said that hopefully the previous hotfixes and upcoming changes will address that power a little bit. So nerfs to the Devotion should be coming by the sounds of it in the next season. What about other weapons though? What about weapons that might be getting buffed? Maybe the Alternator and the RE45. Well, these are both weapons that players have mentioned and the developers said are on their radar. And one dev even hinted that the RE45 is certainly getting some buffs next season because they said they have bigger plans for our little auto pistol. Now, what does this mean? Well, I believe this means more of a kind of rework or a new kind of hop-up coming to the RE45, or maybe even akimbo RE45s are on the way, because they mentioned in another response that essentially they want to look at buffing weapons in ways like they gave the Bocek explosive ammo, like they gave the pistols akimbo, like they gave the Devotion a turbocharger. Rather than just tweaking the damage values and the magazine capacity, it looks like a much bigger change is on the way for the RE45. Also, the devs announced their plans for care package weapons, and they confirmed that the Peacekeeper is coming back to ground loot next season, and also said that in general, they're going to be having care packages stick around for 2 seasons before returning to the floor. So from now on, expect care package weapons to do a rotation of 2 seasons before one of them comes out. And that's about everything that was mentioned in the Developer Ask Me Anything. So we've got some pretty exciting updates to come, and I think the current balance update from today was a nice surprise. So let me know all your thoughts, and definitely W's for Apex for doing a lot more frequent updates than we've seen in the past. I hope this keeps up, and that's about it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.